Welcome to DejaVue.
It's your favorite Vue podcast. You just don't know it yet. Or maybe do, maybe having DejaVue. And we are back for another episode here. With me is Michael Thiessen.
Hey everyone, I am a Vue educator, if you don't know, and I do content and courses and all sorts of things like that. And with me is Alex.
Yeah, hey, I'm Alex Lichter. I am a web engineering consultant by day, part of the Nuxt team as well, and also doing a little bit of YouTube, a little bit of streaming all around Vue Nuxt, JavaScript, front-end development, and so on and so on. And yeah, today we want to talk about something very interesting that happened, a little bit ago in France. Yeah, we don't talk about recent politics maybe, but it could be. No, but something else. We want to talk about a little meeting of a group of people.
Yeah, so I saw this unfold on Twitter a little bit, or X, I guess. I don't know. I still call it Twitter.
We all do.
But yeah. So you were live tweeting, well, sort of live tweeting this Nuxt team meetup that you were having. So I'm very curious, first of all, who was there and why did you choose in France, of all places?
Yeah, so that all, it came a little bit spontaneous, like not like months or years of planning, of course. That people from Nuxt team meet every now and then happened before, like in Amsterdam, for example, last year, where Anthony and Daniel were here. Puya came from Haarlem, which is more or less Amsterdam, like close by, and me. So we met and did a bit of coding, a little bit of discussion for a couple hours. Puya and Daniel, and also Anthony already went to Bordeaux once. I mean, Anthony living in France. From then it's not that far. And yeah, this year, Sebastian was thinking, hey, he's living in Bordeaux. I was like, why not coming all around? The Nuxt Labs office is also there, so you can meet some more people there, check out the office, and then we can do fun things, book some Airbnbs close to his home, and having a good time. So that's why Bordeaux, France was chosen. Though it's not the only possible location, of course. We're also thinking the next time, whenever that will be, to maybe check out Edinburgh or Amsterdam once again. Even though, I mean, everybody is in Amsterdam at least once a year. It feels like for Vue.js Amsterdam. Sadly, not always everyone, but that also might be a good occasion to say like, hey, let's add a few days and just come over and hang out in Amsterdam a bit more. So yeah, that's location wise. And who was there? All the people from the Nuxt team except Harlan, unfortunately. Australia is sadly a bit too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also we were there I was there for 4 days, and the others were there for 5 days, had to leave a little bit earlier. It was a blast. It was nice to see everyone from the team at once again, except Harlan, unfortunately. But we had him in our hearts and minds, of course. So it was really nice to hang out and just having a good time.
Yeah, I think I can empathize with Harlan a little bit. Like, I'm not on the Nuxt team, but over here in Canada, I sometimes feel like I'm missing out on some Vue events and things because most people are over in Europe and all the conferences happening there and the events, and just like meeting up with people is a lot easier when you don't have to take an 8-hour or 9-hour flight across a giant ocean.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, fair point. Even though, I mean, you have Vue Toronto right around right around your house, basically. And VueConf US, which is still far, but that's so at least you have two conferences more or less, not say close by, one at least, but in reach.
They're in the same time zone. Yeah. So that's really nice too.
That counts.
The jet lag is not always the most fun thing.
No, I agree.
So you were in an Airbnb hanging out. I'm sure you talked about Nuxt and did some things. I saw there was a cake that was made.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So Julian from the team also was here in the podcast already talking about server components. Actually, lots of people were on already and probably have some more. Daniel as well. And the rest is on the list to come for sure. Just have to find suitable dates because there's enough to talk about. But everybody following Julian along, maybe he's really into baking things. And he got this, let's say, this brand iron to with the shape of the Nuxt logo. He got a custom made on Etsy and bought it, so nice. He can actually just put a little branding on the cake eventually. So he tried it with a galette du roi, a typical French cake for King's Day in France. At least that's what I learned in school back in time.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, he made it and put the logo on it, and that's how that story started.
Nice. I think I've had that cake before. I have a friend who's from France. Is that the one where they hide
Yeah,
an almond in there, and then whoever gets the piece with it?
exactly.
Okay.
It's the king, so to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like finding the king. Yeah. So yeah, that's so fun. But we didn't make a galette du roi. We made like Julian made a cheesecake version of it.
Okay.
Like a very, very lovely, tasty cheesecake with some jam on top, and of course, nicely branded with the Nuxt logo. That's very important. And yeah, activity wise, like we in a way we didn't have like a super big agenda, as in, oh yeah, let's get up at 7 and then we code through the night or the day and then the night. It was more like the idea was to get together, to spend actual time together and have some conversations a lot, mainly because, well, it's always nice to talk, even like we do right now, right? Like video chatting, it's cool, but like personal communications, also sometimes just in a group of like brainstorming, this is sometimes really difficult to replicate online.
Yeah.
So it was really good to do that, and yeah, just also ask questions, get some input, discuss who's going to do what next, and also this maybe get some opinions on. It can be anything, can be code, but also can like how to handle contributors, how to make it more clear for the users what they should do when they report a bug. Like also lots of meta topics, let's say, they were really helpful. Like all the conversations, like they really, yeah, they really help, because it's, you get these opinion, but usually you don't ask like straight away, like, hey, rest of the team, what do you think? And if you ask, then not everybody will necessarily have a chance to input, like give their thoughts. Not because it's like, okay, there's just one answer and that's it. It's more like we're all busy. Lots of us are not doing that full time, myself included. Same for Lucy, for Julian, for Harlan as well. More or less like, okay, Puya, Sebastian, somewhat, because he's also running Nuxt Labs, right, a company, and Daniel and Anthony are doing full-time open source. So basically 3.5 people are from the team. And
yeah,
that's also what made it a little bit difficult, like, okay, when to find a suitable date, because some of us have to take time off. Okay, in my case, it's a bit easier. But yeah, we made it eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of open source teams. Probably most open source projects is just fully distributed online, just people chipping in, however, and like all these decisions are made asynchronous, through GitHub or whatever tool you use to plan things. But yeah, hashing things out in person is very different. And like as you say, some things are better done in person. And once you get to like, I don't know, 4 people or more, I find that video chats kind of fall apart, and there are just naturally some people who are less likely to speak up in larger groups, and it's even harder online. And then if your internet is lagging or something, like,
or you're on a
you can never
train,
like jump in, and then you're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just stay on mute and listen.
Yeah, or just like maybe write in the chat. That's also what I see every now and then. And people like, okay, don't want to talk. I just put in my ideas in the chat, and then you also have to take care of that, and so on, so on. So yeah, it's tricky. But I like to see full remote companies also do that, right? They go on retreat every now and then.
Yeah.
Also not with the focus to like work hard, but like just meet your coworkers, spend time with them. And I've seen the Vue team, for example, also going on a Vue retreat, so to say. I think that's also a good way, once again, to like strengthen the core in a way, like also bonding, and still like being productive in a way, even though that was not the main goal. The main goal is like, okay, at the end we ship Nuxt 4, because it didn't happen as we all see, but it wasn't planned like that, never.
Yeah, meeting people in person and getting to know them as real people and not just as like their commit history is a big thing, I think. And like this podcast is a good example of that, because we met in Toronto at a conference and we were just chatting about stuff. We weren't talking about I don't know. We probably were talking about Vue, but not that specifically. We were just kind of hanging out, and eventually we got around to talking about podcasting. I forget exactly how it came up, but like it came up, and that's how it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember it was like after a conference, we were just chatting around. And yeah, somehow it was like maybe we even talk about Eric. Eric Henscher in this case, shout out. Probably also will be on here very soon if you find a time for that. It's always like find a good recording date across a couple time zones is tricky, but
yeah,
that's also another topic maybe for an episode, but like how to make a nice podcast and the challenges. But yeah, we also talked about the other Vue podcasts, starting with like the Vue Mastery one about the official Vue News podcast, which I really enjoyed listening to when I was starting with Vue.js development. And also every now and then submitted a few of my articles because there was a submit function like, hey, good content, let's put it in.
yeah.
So that was really fun, and I really like the comments that we also get on YouTube, on Twitter, every now and then also an email and other platforms, basically saying like, hey, it's really nice. Especially I had that one in mind because I saw it yesterday, where someone commenting on the first part of the Avenue interview and saying like, hey, I expected it to be like the typical like topics Evan was saying in the conference, but it's so different, and it's really lovely and never stop. You really feel a missing hole in the Vue community, and that's really nice to see. That's exactly why I do it.
Yeah, and yeah, we're trying to in some ways kind of replace the in-person conversations that are hard to have because everyone's in different places, and then record it so that everyone else can come along for the ride. And yeah, it's really nice to be able to do this. And maybe one day we can have an event in Australia, perhaps, so that Harlan can it makes it easier for him.
Vue.js Australia.
We'll have to.
There we go. That would be lovely.
Yeah, and like there are different parts of the world that are harder for people to make it into a conference and actually see other people in person. But I know that lots of cities have Vue.js meetups as well, which is nice to see other people. If you're not working in a company where there are other people using Vue, or even, if it's just you and someone else,
or if you're freelance,
working with Vue, yeah, then you can actually meet up and chat with people in real life who are also using Vue. And so it's a nice way to be part of the community and to get connected. It's always nice to meet real people.
100%. And also like it's a good start if you want to go into public speaking as well. Like give a talk there, have like a chill atmosphere, like ask some questions or get some questions asked and answer them. That's also in a way, like I started doing lots of meetups and still really enjoy them going there. It's like a really nice familiar feeling. Also as an attendee, you don't always have to give a talk actually.
Yeah.
Though often it's like, okay, if you're around and if you have something, like, okay, sure, I can talk about whatever. But yeah, like coming back to the Nuxt meeting, there's also one more thing that we did a lot, which was food. Good French pastries, of course. Some good Bordeaux wine. Sadly, I missed out the wine festival the last day, but I heard it was lots of fun. So we had a really good time. Of course, people know Daniel is really into bouldering, so we all also went bouldering because it was lots of fun the last times I've been with him. And we're like, let's do this. So yeah, we had some nice community activities. We had a good time together.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, like the result, I think will be a better Nuxt and a better Nitro because the team grew even closer together.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the team produces over the next while. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine that this pace that it can be sustained, but I have faith in like it's been actually pretty amazing to see what's happened like with Nuxt 3, and once that rolled out and like the minor releases and all the features and the pace at which things are coming out, and I'm really excited to see what Nuxt 4 brings and the future of that.
Same here. Like I mean, for Nuxt 4, luckily breaking change wise, we are in a pretty good state. maybe if you listen to that Nuxt 4 is already out, then you already know what happened. But so Puya is rewriting with the help of some others of the team, but mainly him is like rewriting H3, the router, which was Radix tree before. Now it's not a Radix tree anymore. So it's just called route tree, like ROU and then S3. And to make sure that it works even better, it can, cater all the needs. And eventually we get a Nitro major version with some changes, quite some breaking changes, of course, but nothing's like, oh my God, it will never be able to migrate. Ideally, lots of things we can solve with an extensive migration guide like we do with Nuxt 4 already. Also for people using Nitro standalone, that might be a good case. And in the end, there will be lots of changes, but it will be good because still everything will be runtime agnostic. So we make sure that you can deploy things in Cloudflare Workers on Node, on Deno, and things will work out. But it also needs some sacrifices in terms of maybe sometimes it takes a bit longer to find a good solution, or maybe sometimes you have to cut out on the Node-specific things because they're not available on other platforms.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm sure everyone else is, new versions and making things better. It's always good.
Though obviously, like we have some discussions around some breaking changes, which is I think it's really good. Like I was reading about the famous removal of the pending boolean. This is something which we originally planned, and eventually in the team, like we came to the conclusion that we said, no, we don't want to remove it in version 4. We might remove it in version 5, and we just mark it as deprecated, but update the behavior. So I think we even decided it in Bordeaux back then, because like we always have to make trade-offs, as in like, okay, how much effort is it for people to migrate, and what benefit is there? It's like, okay, if there's a totally wrong implementation, I think it's really good to fix the bug. But do I fully have to remove the variable for that to indicate, hey, this is not working anymore, and not like this is still silently working, but you don't know if there's maybe a change? In this case, we decided for the latter. We said, like, okay, we changed the behavior a tiny bit because most of the users probably won't be affected, and the ones they see that in the migration guide. So I think that was a good choice. And the community weighed in a lot there, saying like, hey, why do you remove it? Does it really make sense? It's a lot of pain to migrate. And I see lots of points there. Still a big fan of booleans for like state, like pending, idle, and so on and so on. We have a status enum there more or less, so just strings. But I understand that people don't want to migrate over some tiny thing like that because lots of hours and work if you use it on 100 places, maybe rename it.
Yeah, and maybe there's a good what's the tool for the code migrations?
Like a code mod, you mean?
Yeah, code mod. Yeah, maybe that could be a code mod for that. That makes it not hundreds of hours, but you still have to review those changes and make sure you didn't accidentally break things.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I get that. Yeah.
There's actually a code mod for that developed by Jan-Niklas Wortmann. Still, the PR is open, so hopefully you can use it for version 5. Only has some problems with semicolons versus no semicolons in code because that's the only thing that was troublesome. But if we remove it, and right now this is planned for V5, as you said, but not for Nuxt 4, then that code mod might be interesting. Even before, it could be interesting because if it's deprecated, you might still want to run the code and say, hey, how about you change that instead? Like you check the status instead.
Right.
So yeah, all in all, I'm a big fan of in-person meetings. It's a bit sad that we can't do it more regular. Like I think once every half a year is like the smallest duration in between that we can do, like the smallest time span. Because every couple of months it's tough, as in people have to take maybe vacation days, or maybe have to make it shorter, and we have to find a suitable date. And we have lots of people. I mean, we all have like responsibilities. People have family, kids. That also doesn't make it easier. Yeah. I mean, you know better than I do at the moment. And I'm just very happy that we could do it. That we had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to the next in-person, but also a virtual Nuxt meeting, and maybe one day even a Nuxt conference. Who knows? Like
that would be fun.
An in-person one. Oh, I would love that. I mean, I heard that for ages, like even back in 2019, like, yeah, maybe at some point it might take a bit. I wouldn't rule it out. It's not like, oh yeah, we have like precise plans what to do. But folks, if you want to see a Nuxt conference, then let us know in the comments or on Twitter.
And with that, I think we're at the end here of this episode. But if you want to listen to more of our episodes on Vue and Nuxt, you can. We've got a pretty good backlog by now. We've got an episode with Evan, and then we have another episode with Evan Yu. We've got episodes with Daniel and Harlan, as were mentioned in this episode, and Julian, and
so many amazing guests. Yeah,
many more. So take a look, and we'll see you in the next one.
Exactly. Have a good time. Talk to you soon, folks.